Good evening, everyone. The time is 6:30 PM and I call this meeting to order. Pledge of Allegiance, please. May I have roll call, please?
Mayor Jeffrey,
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Cohen. Here. Trustee Westcott,
Here.
Trustee Bristow. Here. Trustee White. Trustee Tapey.
Here.
Thank you. Is there a motion to approve tonight's agenda?
I move to approve the agenda.
Second. We have a motion and a second. All those in favor of approving the agenda, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? And the agenda is approved. Next up on our agenda is public comment. Did we receive any slips this evening? Was there anyone hoping to speak during the public comment time? Okay, I think you can come up to the microphone and speak, and then we'll have you fill out a slip after the fact. You'll want to push the button to turn your microphone on and then state your name and address for the record, please.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Benjamin Weaver. I'm a resident in Bella Vista at 489 Reserve Avenue. I'm coming to this meeting tonight just simply to get an update, if there is one, on the status or estimated time for repairs for County Road 4. It's been a concern in the neighborhood and amongst talks of a lot of citizens. And I know a lot of us are probably pretty eager to get that back opened. So since obviously when the road when the road was first closed, the canal was still full of water for irrigation for all the farmers, but that's been dried up now a couple weeks. So just wanted to see if the town had any input. I have left a couple messages for the Public Works Director that have been unreturned. So I just wanted to see if the town had any input that they could give us on that. From a citizen standpoint, just concerned about emergency services response times. Any homes just to the west of that closure are going to be greatly affected. A 3-minute response time before is now a 15-minute or more response time to go around County Road 2 and 31. For fire, police, EMS, obviously that's a concern. And of course, school bus routes have also been affected. And being a major artery between Brighton and Log Bowie, and now with the construction at Road 2 and 37, it's forcing all that traffic that would otherwise be going west down County Road 4 is now going south down 37 and into town. So I think expediting this project, if possible, would definitely help alleviate that congestion that's already taken place in town and kind of restore order to everything. So those are my comments. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ben. I appreciate it if you turn your microphone off. Generally, we don't reply to public comment, but I do think it's appropriate tonight to respond to this. And in fact, it is going to be something that I brought up during mayor and trustee comments as well, because I've been looking for updates to share with people that have been reaching out to me. So, Mr. Ukert, do you have any information to share tonight, please?
I do, yeah. I was just checking. I do have a comment. We had a very large meeting this morning with the contractors, the general contractor and some of the subcontractors. As you noted, the trick is with the water flowing in there. I'm shocked to hear that there's no water flowing in there right now. It's completely dry. The Spear Canal. Well, not the Burlington ditch, because we just had a blowout on 6 as well, north of there. Another culvert got damaged by a contractor. And I mean, I was just out there and took pictures. That is not dry. So yeah. That's how I drive. I used to drive home every day, so I'm kind of in the same predicament. I haven't been there since it got closed. Only reports from everybody else. I don't want to get sidetracked down there, but if it is dry, that'll expedite the process. What's been taking the most amount of time is having to guarantee FRICO to keep the same flow through there because of the farmers, downstream that rely, users that rely on that water. So I will literally, once this meeting adjourns, I'm gonna drive over there. I believe you, who was it? Ronald Reagan, Trust but Verify. So I will look, but that will, if it's gonna remain dry the rest of the year, seriously expedite the fix on it. The fix will be, and I do apologize for the notice not going out. But it's literally evolving day by day. The time frame is blown from, the week after it happened. But basically our plan was with water flowing, we're gonna dig a trench around it. We were looking at dams and siphons and pumping to keep it going. But it just made a lot more sense. We could do an alternate canal around, dry it out, do shotcrete on the culvert in place. And so then it's got the strength and watertight ability. And then repair the road above it, the slab and kind of a pier thing. So we've got support on both sides. Repair the road and then get it back open, release the water back through. So that was generally the plan, but if we don't have to do that expense to digging around and FRICO can guarantee that it's going to be dry the rest of the year, we can mobilize pretty quickly on that because the call this morning to get the big inflatable dams that we were gonna do the first part of it took about 2 weeks. So we gave the go-ahead today to get those in. So like I say, I'll be making a lot of calls tonight after I drive by, and that will help the process. But I appreciate you coming in and bringing that to my attention. I just haven't driven down there. And we have been in touch with FRICO. I mean, they've been very responsive and cooperative to, hey, as long as you can make sure the flows through there, we approve your repairs and we've been talking to their engineers and team. So I'm sad no one gave us the heads up from FRICO that it's dry. Yeah, and they are doing some maintenance and work on Bar Lake too. I know that I've heard that, so, okay. All right, now the good news about the culvert north of that on 6 is that it's not a traveled road we're on the Burlington where it went through. We've got it kind of barricaded with the thing that was being carried across those concrete box culverts, but yeah.
Thank
As
you
of
again for-
yesterday? I was just there yesterday and it's wet. Okay, well, I will follow up with you personally if you can leave your name with, on the sheet with Heather. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you for being here. I appreciate it. And I was gonna say, make sure you fill out a slip so that they can follow up with you and give you an update. And then I know that you guys will make sure updates are put out on town website and social media. So thank you for that. Next on our agenda tonight is the consent agenda. For benefit of the audience, we have our payment approval report in the amount of $397,793.96 and the minutes from our August 6th meeting. Is there a motion, please?
I move to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda. Roll call, please.
Trustee Tapey,
Yes.
Mayor Jeffrey,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Cohen,
Yes.
Trustee Bristow,
Yes.
Trustee Westcott,
Yes.
Thank you. The consent agenda has been approved. Moving on to action items tonight. The first action item is Resolution 2024-48 concerning a vacancy in an office of trustee. Walter Van Loo, thank you for being here again this evening. We enjoyed the opportunity to visit with you on August 6th and interview you in your interest of filling this trustee position that is currently vacant. Austin Trotter, thank you for being here tonight. It's now your opportunity to answer some questions and be interviewed. So if you would like to come on up to the microphone, again, you'll need to push the button to unmute it. Let's start by stating your name and address for the record, please.
My name is Austin Trotter. My address is 1773 Upland Street in Lochbuie.
Thank you so much. So as we did on August 6th, we're going to start on this side and just take turns asking some questions. Before we get started, do you have any questions that you would like to ask us?
No questions.
Awesome, thank you. Oh, would you like to sort of explain what we decided the process is going to be? Go ahead.
Sure. So just to sort of give a level set what we're doing, we'll go ahead and ask you your questions and then we'll have a period of discussion. That period of discussion is open, so you are welcome to step out. If we're going to be talking about the two of you, you're also welcome to stay. It's public discussion for everybody to hear. So, and then we'll make, I guess, entertain motions at that point and take a vote on those motions.
Before we get started, and thank you very much, Mayor Pro Tem Cohen, I appreciate you sharing that process with them. I just am excited to have two more residents that are interested in being part of our processes. So thank you again to both of you for being here and being willing to be an active part of our community. Trustee Westcott.
Do whatever I want then. Based on what you know about town government, what do you see as the top priorities for Lochbuie and why?
I personally believe that the top priorities are the community, the people in it, and making their lives easier instead of harder. I feel that there's a need for that in this country.
Let's see, a trustee seat on the board requires a significant time commitment, usually 2 to 4 monthly meetings and reading prep before meetings. How will this fit in with your other commitments?
So my other commitments are I own a business, right? So I basically traded my 9 to 5 for a 24/7. However, I do have time off. This is something that I feel like I am drawn to serve my community. I will make time for this as needed, and then some.
What is your approach to handling controversial and complicated issues?
Well, my approach to controversial and complicated issues are pretty straightforward. I think that it should be wide open for discussion. I don't think that we need to tiptoe around things, but I also think that there needs to be some sort of sensitivities to heavy issues, basically. I don't think that we need to be too straightforward where it hurts feelings, but I don't think that we need to leave anything unsaid.
Do you think you have any personal or professional relationships that could become a conflict of interest while serving as a board member?
Not at all.
Peggy, would you like to ask a question?
Yes, ma'am. So, what skills and experience do you have that would benefit you as a board member?
My skills and benefits include basically being the top of my class in every kind of leadership position that I've been put into, As well as 3 years ago, I started a business from nothing, took no loans, and I built it to a well over six-figure, close to the seven-figure business within 3 years. Um, I take every opportunity to do the right thing, and I believe that my community is right below my faith and my family.
Let's see, I'll ask my random question. So given that we live in a time that's super divided, and this is a nonpartisan board, so what's your approach, to deal with members of the community that may vote differently than you, have a different?
I personally believe that everybody is entitled to their own opinion. That's what makes this country so great. I don't think of anybody less for having different opinions than me, and I'm willing to talk to everybody about anything.
Do you feel like you have any personal or professional relationships that could become a conflict of interest while serving? What professional, previous community involvement have you had in Lochbuie or another town?
So my wife is a police officer for the city of Thornton. We take that very seriously with doing stuff with, community outreach, all of that kind of stuff. I take my walks every single night throughout my community to pick up trash, clean up after people who have left trash or things unarray. I haven't been to very many community events here in the town of Lochbuie just because building a business had taken quite a bit of my time. But that's about it.
As a resident and a potential board member, what do you envision for the future of Lochbuie? What would be like the ideal, outcome for Sid? I've lived here 18 years, so, I've envisioned things, but it hasn't always, gone that way. So as a resident, what do you envision for the future?
My envision for the town of Lochbuie is constant progression. Obviously, we'll never be able to be perfect as a town, but I believe that if we're getting better every single day and, our residents are happy, everybody is able to coincide with each other, I feel like that is one of the greatest envisions.
Thank you very much. I think we have covered all of the questions. So we will now move into discussion. Who
Thank
would
you.
like- Thank you very much. Appreciate you being here. All right, trustee Tapey,
Yes, ma'am.
would you like to share any comments, questions, thoughts regarding our two potential candidates for our trustee vacancy?
They are both very impressive gentlemen. I think both would bring a lot to the table. I guess personally, I really appreciate being a business owner. I appreciate what Austin mentioned about his heart for the community and just the ideals that he has, the being very community oriented. But then when you look at Walter and his past experience on the board, he's got a good grasp of what is required, what is expected. Yeah, both really good candidates, for sure.
Thank you. Trustee Westcott.
I think Peggy said some really great things. I think I echo what she said. I think they both would probably do a very fine job. I think given the limited amount of time that this person is going to actually serve, given that Walter's got some previous experience doing this, the learning curve would be less steep for him. That probably makes more sense to me, although Trotter does seem like he has a lot of enthusiasm. I would definitely recommend that he pick up a board packet tonight and run. Both of them should do that.
Mayor Pro Tem Cohen?
I agree with everything that's been said so far. I think both candidates are great. I actually I appreciate that Mr. Van Loo has come back after his last experience. But I also sort of think it would be great to have a fresh set of eyes. I don't think the learning curve is that big for this. We get training. So for me, that's not a factor. I think I have enough to make what my decision is, so.
And Trustee Bristow?
I never was able to serve with Walter and wasn't here last time to interview him, so but I've heard great things about his service and Mr. Trotter seems very ambitious, kind of go get it attitude, and seems very invested in Loch Bowie and the future and of what I know.
Thank you. And I don't think I have anything different that I would say other than what you all have shared. I think they both would do a fine job. I hope they both will pick up packets and run for one of the vacancies in November. And think they both are quite capable of filling our current vacancy. So that being said, we are looking for a potential I have language. This is why. Like, there's a whole language around the resolution 2024-48 concerning the vacancy. If you have your packet and you have interest in making a motion, now would be the time to do that.
Well, I don't know about the resolution yet, but I would like to move that we appoint Austin Trotter to the open trustee position.
I second.
Okay, I have a motion to appoint Austin Trotter and a second. Roll call, please.
Mayor Pro Tem Cohen,
Yes.
trustee Bristow,
Yes.
trustee Westcott,
No,
Mayor Jeffrey,
No.
trustee Tapie,
Yes.
Okay, it is a 3-2 vote and Austin will be appointed as trustee.
So I move to approve resolution number 2024-48 concerning a vacancy in an office of trustee, making Austin Trotter that trustee.
Second.
I think that we already did that, right? For all intents and.
For all intents and purposes,
Yeah.
yeah.
No, I didn't have.
Yeah, I think you've made the motion that's passed. And so all that needs to happen is we'll just fill Mr. Trotter's name into the resolution. I don't think so.
For all the motions.
I thank you both. I wanted to let you know you both received, that Austin has been selected to fill the vacancy at this time, but we have 4 seats, 3 seats for a 4-year term and 1 seat for a 2-year term. Am I one ahead? That is correct. And I hope you both will pick up packets and run for those vacancies in November. But we are ready to swear in and have him seated tonight. Is that correct? Okay, so if you would come on up here. I do it. If you would please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Austin Trotter,
I, Austin Trotter,
do swear that I will support
I do swear that I will support
the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of Colorado,
the Constitution of the State of Colorado,
and the laws of the State of Colorado
and the laws of the State of Colorado
and the town of Lochbuie,
and the town of Lochbuie,
and will faithfully perform the duties
and will faithfully perform the duties
of the office of trustee
of the office of trustee
upon which I am about to enter
upon which I am about to enter
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Welcome to the board.
Thank you.
All right, our next action items tonight are ones we've seen before regarding BNSF annexations number 2 and 3. We are looking to open the public hearing and continue it to September 3rd, 2024 at 6:30 PM because the matter is currently being held in abeyance pursuant to CRS section 31-12-114. I would entertain a combined motion, and I am first going to open the hearing at 6:57 PM.
So I move to continue the matter on BNSF annexation number 2 and BNSF annexation number 3, September 3rd, 2024 at 6:30 PM at Town Hall, 703 Weld County Road 37, and by Zoom, as the matter is being held in abeyance pursuant to CRS section 31-12-114.
Second.
I would like to have just a smidge of discussion and propose a friendly amendment stating the resolution numbers for the record, 2024-22 and 2024-23. Is it okay? to Add those to your motion.
Yes.
Okay, we do have a motion and a second. May we have roll call, please?
Trustee Westcott,
Yes.
trustee Bristow,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Cohen,
Yes.
trustee Chapey,
Yes.
trustee Trotter,
Yes.
Mayor Jeffrey.
Yes, and those are now continued to September 3rd. Thank you, everyone. We're moving on to staff and attorney updates. We're going to start with Chief McCoy this evening. How are you, sir?
Good evening, Mayor, Board of Trustees. You do have my incident chart there, and so if you have any questions, you can let me know about that. Other than that, a few highlights, not quite as exciting as last month, I don't guess. But sort of, in a way. We had a shooting that took place. It was an accidental shooting. A couple of fellas in the car out in the street that were drinking and passing their gun around to each other, and the guy in the back seat, it went off when he had it and hit the guy in the front seat. I'm getting transported to the hospital. He's going to be okay. We arrested the guy. The guy did the shooting, fled, and then we arrested him a day later. And so he's playing games. And then a couple of overdose deaths over the last 6 weeks or so, and a suicide that we went to. We hosted a Spanish for law enforcement training class for officers from several other departments here, and a couple of our guys went through that. It was a 3-day long class, and hopefully that'll give them a little bit of Spanish phrases when they're out on the street. And we've hired Our most recent hire that's out of field training has been here for about a month and a half, and he's out of field training doing his thing, and we have hired another one. And we're in the process of doing an internal process for a detective. There had been requests for us to make sure that we went to BNSF's or railroad training. That finally happened. The whole department's been through, well, all the patrol department has been through training at with the BNSF on train safety and those kind of things. So that happened. That was also a class that was encompassing many other departments that were there. So that's it, unless you have any other questions for me.
Does anybody have any questions for Chief tonight?
I don't have any questions, but I would like to say I really appreciate the new set of reports that you included. They're great and provide a really nice level of data and analysis. So
Good.
thank you for that. As well as everything else you guys do.
Thank you very much, Chief. Water and wastewater. Good to see you tonight.
So big happenings at the wastewater plant this month was getting heavily underway with a lot of the semi-annual preventative maintenance that we do on all the pumps. And also 2 major replacements of our waste activated sludge pump and return activated sludge pump. That was all budgeted for, but completed this past go around. Last board meeting, we were just kicking off getting sludge hauling going with TerraGenesis. We've completed a full month with them and everything's been going really well. The only thing we're waiting on right now is the containers that they are going to deliver for permanent use. The ones we're using right now are a little smaller, but they're fabricating aluminum ones that will allow us to haul more sludge eventually. So those are supposed to be delivered in the next few weeks or so. We had a couple issues with the generator, but we had Generator Source come out and repair those right away. But other than that, it was pretty business as usual at wastewater. At the water plant, demand was up quite a bit from last year, but we handled that demand very well. All the units were functioning well, so we didn't have any issues keeping up. The only new issue that we kind of have coming up right now is with well 1. We're having intermittent power issues. So that's an issue that we're working out with United Power. There's nothing wrong with the equipment that's down in the hole, but we're losing it during high demand periods, like, at night when everybody's kicking their power on. So we're working with United to get through that issue. But as we're kind of getting down into the end of high demand season, we'll have plenty of time to resolve that with them. But yeah, other than that, mostly business as usual.
Thank you very much. Does anybody have questions about the report? Yeah, thank you
you.
very much. Is there anything else tonight for this section?
Yes, I sent a few emails out this week. Chris Kennedy asked me to pass a couple things along. Blue Lake, Bella Vista, Century Homes is purchasing 94 lots and filing 2. So that'll be the next tranche of activity for that subdivision. Home construction scheduled to begin next year. They'll be working on infrastructure this fall. Roy multifamily project is progressing behind the scenes. There's no work going on out there. Right now, you may see some surveying work. Installation could begin in spring of next year. Building construction would begin in fall of next year. The comprehensive plan update is moving along. We received a draft plan from our consultants for review. We're going to work on scheduling an open house in September and October for public input as we bring that into focus, and we'll have a town booth at our 50th to advise of the open house. So knowing how kind of tricky scheduling was with school events and everything, we'll make a concerted effort to make sure we don't double book it or anything like that. I was going to give an update on the Weld County Road 4 closure and the culvert for the Spear Canal. I'd mentioned also during the public comment about the one at 6. I attached some pictures. We're working on that. The other significant project is the elevated storage tank that we're building. I don't yet have a word on when mobilization will begin, but we really want to notice all the residents out there that you're gonna be in a construction area for a little while. But it's a necessary project, for the town. And it's exciting that we're gonna be starting that. We can't bring it online soon enough. As you know, going on in the background, for a little while, are planned expansions of our water treatment plant and our wastewater treatment plant. We'll have a separate, work session, to update the entire board and the, community on that. Because right now, there's a little bit going, once we bring the water treatment plant, get better, planning, and deadlines on that. For the wastewater treatment plant, it's pretty exciting. I mean, I think it will be retermed to like a water recovery, situation instead of just kind of treating wastewater, kind of modernizing it. But, I realized that only the sewer, people that come to the sewer board, the board members that are on that really get those updates. So and I wouldn't be very well at passing, having our engineer here for the board would be great. So all those questions can be answered and information given to everybody. So we'll be planning for that. Last thing is, the board received an invitation by some children for an Image Summit event in Brighton in November. So I'll be passing that along. Very cute handwriting. That it was like literally they did a handwritten invitation. And then I sent this out earlier. We got this today. Tammy Whitaker with the Chamber, Southeast Weld Chamber, let us know that Bob Grand passed away last week. And if you're familiar with him and the Lost Creek Guide and just his personality and the things he's done in the area, it's really a sad loss for the area. So I've known Bob for a long time, so it's really sad.
Very much.
You're welcome.
Anybody have questions?
Where are we in?
We're, I keep threatening to try and schedule a meeting. But we're still working through all the departments and, so probably in the next, couple weeks we'll have that. And I know that before, being mindful of the staff schedules of, doing it during a weekday. I don't think that's realistic with schedules. So it will likely be in an evening or even a Saturday if it works out, but I'll do either myself or Stephanie will do a doodle poll. That way we can just get what works for everybody and lock it in. But we're not, I think the last, Victoria told me that last year, the first meeting was in September. Or like the offsite, or I think it was onsite. It was earlier than that. Okay. All right. Well, that being said, we're still not like behind from anything. I mean, there's still, but we just want to be able to present you with something more than, we're kind of working on stuff and here's what we have right now. So, we'll be, getting dates for that and planning. Sure.
Anything else regarding staff or attorney updates? Okay. Okay, go ahead.
Sorry, I did have one thing. Mayor had mentioned, our 50th is coming up next month. It'll be here before you know it. And we have a meeting tomorrow about that to finalize everything. And she had mentioned a time capsule. And so I did a time capsule at my old place, and everyone tells you don't bury it because you'll never find it again unless it's somewhere. So I did find a time capsule that could be purchased, and I thought I'd bring it up and I could pass this around if anyone wants. It's kind of plastic composite box, and to see if anybody wanted to that project on and I know time is short, but I just wanted to, might be an interest.
I can take that on, AJ.
About a time capsule.
I think it's a great idea. I mean, with everything changing so quickly, you never know what's gonna be obsolete in 5 years anyway.
I have a lot of old electronics we can stick in there. Kindles and stuff. I think it's a good idea. It would be fun.
And you're willing to take that on?
Yes, absolutely.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
We'll make sure to get a time crate instead of a time capsule so we can accommodate the electronics.
And I would just say, start talking with your, your neighbors and other people in the community about things that they think would belong in there, but we'll kind of let you take the charge and see how we want to put out some communication around it. I do hope we put like a flyer about the 50th anniversary with the logo and all of that fun stuff in there as like a keepsake or memory or whatever.
I wonder if maybe the elementary schools would like. Kat, I'm wondering that in your direction. I wonder if the elementary schools might be interested in being in there to represent their school. And also if I can help you in any way, please let me know.
Awesome. Let's move on to mayor and trustee comments. Trustee Tapey, let's start with you.
Well, I really don't have any comments. I do want to thank Walter and Austin both for stepping up and running for this position. And Austin, welcome to the board.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, trustee Bristow.
I would like to echo what Peggy said. Thank you to you both. With all the positions open up in November, I would really, like to see as much community involvement. I'm always pushing for people to come to meetings and, join and offer opinions. So, getting, more involvement would be great too. And just thank you both very much.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem Cohen.
Ditto. Thank you to you both. Welcome to the board. Also, CML, the policy committee is over because the legislative session was technically over, but just as an FYI, there's going to be a special session here. Starts on the 26th to supposedly address property taxes. So if you care about that, keep your eye peeled.
Thank you for that. Trustee Westcott.
I have just a few things. One, if we could just communicate with Public Works, I'm noticing a lot of really tall weeds in the roads, like in cracks and in the sidewalks, like on the curbs. If that's just the rain lately, but noticing that on my way to work today. The most common question I'm getting lately is about the Quick Trip development. What's going in there, what's going to happen is a truck stop. I just think maybe it would be time with our person who's doing our social media on our website. I know we don't pay her enough, or him, whoever that is, to take a look at the community development section of our website and see what we can do to update that and maybe make it more forward, I don't know, forward facing is not really what I'm trying to say, but get some more really updated information to answer the questions that people really have. What's going on in town? I think as we have more projects, the Starbucks is getting asked a lot about that. The Quick Trip, the Cairo project that you mentioned, people are going to just be asking about those a lot. And so getting some sort of a development update that's just updated all the time, I think is something that we need. I think that the community development section of the website is a good place for that, but I think maybe there needs to be some sort of a link to that right on the homepage so that people can go straight there from the homepage. I think that will save us questions. I think that will save you questions. I think that will stop rumors from spreading around the community. So that is my suggestion. And I know that I emailed this to you, AJ, and I'm just going to put it out there once more, which is that if there's something that we can do to, some wording that we can put up on the website about the comprehensive plan from 2018 to let people know that that is not a development plan, that's just a vision board, and we are not getting a target. I think that would help us a lot. And then finally, I just want to echo what you said about Bob Grand. I really only had one conversation with the man, but when I worked on the yearbook at Weld Central High School, he was always so great about and gracious about celebrating our graduates in our community. And he was just always really on top of making sure that they were celebrated and celebrating what's good in our community. And yeah, he was awesome. So I'm going to be sad that he's gone.
Thank you so much. Trustee Trotter?
Yeah, I just want to thank everybody for the opportunity that I've been given. I really appreciate how, trustworthy you guys have been, and I look forward to the rest of this moving forward out. I also want to second what you had said about the kind of outreach, because I get asked these questions a lot as well. And it took even me being a general contractor a little while to find everything. It's not as readily available. And I think that would really shut down a lot of the concerns that the public has, especially if there is some sort of timeline on stuff of when, what's going on with the roads, what's going to be changing, all of that kind of stuff. So yeah, I definitely agree with that.
Thank you. And a lot of the things that were on my list have already been addressed, but I would like to, again, thank you both for being active members in our community. I do hope you both will run for spots in November. I also have concerns about like outreach and communication, and I'm even wondering if it couldn't be just like on our Facebook homepage, a place where you could click and it goes to the website, or a place where you could submit questions or concerns so that people have a way to get their voice out in a quick manner, right? We are just that's how the world is anymore. Everything is immediate. And I also am concerned, all of the HOAs are busy sending property owners notifications about their weeds or their grass is too tall or whatever. And I'm seeing a lot of weeds in areas that our town should be managing. And I'd like to see that brought back into check a little bit more too. I think we want to set the standard, not be an exception to the rule. And with that, I would entertain a motion for executive session.
I move to go into executive session pursuant to CRS section 24-6-4024B with town council to discuss annexation matters and answer legal questions regarding same.
There is a motion and a second for executive session. Roll call, please.
Trustee Westcott,
Yes.
trustee Bristow,
Yes.
trustee Trotter,
Yes.
trustee Tapey,
Yes.
Mayor Jeffrey,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Cohen.
Yes.
And we will now move into executive session. Thank you, everybody, for being here this evening. Peggy, I know you're jumping off. I wish you well.
Thank you very much.